Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel for another Draw With Me tutorial, another festive Draw With Me tutorial. Today we're going to be learning how to use our illustrations to make festive stickers, which will be perfect for gift tags for the Christmas season. So last week we looked at making some festive patterned Christmas paper, and we're going to use our sketches from those Christmas paper to create our gift tag stickers so that everything is matching. So last week when I created that seamless pattern, I made sure to keep my sketch layer. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this group and move it to a new canvas. So to start with, I'm going to use my select tool to take out the pieces of this illustration and copy them that I want to make into labels. So each sketch is going to have its own layer. It's kind of the reverse of what we did when we were creating the pattern, which was sketching each piece separately and then merging together. Okay, now we have 5 separate layers with 5 separate illustration styles. We're going to be using the new feature in Procreate 5.2, which is Page Assist, to allow us to create a separate page for each of these illustrations, and then in turn to be able to create a separate sticker for each one when we export them. So if we go to our canvas settings, where our animation assist and drawing guide is, there is a new toggle called Page Assist. When we turn this on, we get a very similar setup to Animation Assist, and each layer becomes a separate page. If we add a new page down here, it creates a new layer in our layers menu, but calls it page 6. In a similar way to Animation Assist, groups of layers are classed as separate pages. So if you want to have multiple layers in one page, you just have to group them together. Okay. So we're going to create a new layer on top of each of our little sketches and group them together so that we can create each of our pages. We can also go ahead and delete our base sketch because we do still have our backup in our pattern illustration. And then we're going to rename each of our groups based on whatever is in it, or we can just call them sticker 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the first sticker that we're going with is this little decorations illustration. I'm going to center it to my canvas horizontally. On the empty layer on top, I'm going to create a cleanup version of the line art and also add some color to it. With my line art, I can go ahead and delete my sketch layer. I'm going to turn off the background because the next thing that I'm going to want to do is to create an outline layer around these shapes so that my sticker doesn't have a boring rectangle shape, but rather at parts of it connects with the little illustrations. So I'm going to create a new layer, and then I'm going to make sure that new layer is behind my shapes but still inside in my group, so on the same page. I'm going to select my monoline brush. I'm going to select white, and I'm going to turn the size of my monoline brush all the way up, probably around 75, because I want it to create a nice chunky outline for when my Cricut is cutting it, but I also don't want it to be too big. So you don't have to be perfect with this. We're just going to use the monoline brush to trace around the edge of the shape. Now we've created our outline, we're going to fill it in with white. Like this, we could just export it as it is to Cricut and then just create a die cut sticker. But what I'm going to do is actually create Christmas labels. So separate to my outline layer, I'm going to create another new layer, and onto this one, I'm going to draw a rectangle. Now I want my rectangle to connect with my outline, but also I want to make sure that there's enough space in my rectangle for me to be able to add some to and from details. We can play around with the position of it. So for this particular shape, it might actually be nicer if we pull up our rectangle so that our shapes end up being at the side and the bottom. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate my rectangle because I want my rectangle to remain the same on all of my stickers. And I'm going to pull it into my next sticker group up here, which is my Christmas trees. And I'm going to repeat the process. Okay, now that I have each of my sticker designs completed as a color illustration and also with a white outline, I can go ahead and export my pages as PNG files. So I can actually do this as a group by going to the export layer and under the share layers, click PNG files. So we have 5 different pages and our Procreate will automatically export each of these pages as a separate PNG file. I'm going to save these to our camera roll, and then we're going to switch over to the Cricut software and import them. I'm going to create a new project, and then in the upload section, I'm going to select from my photo library and upload each of my illustrations separately. Now I'm going to select each of the designs for the stickers and insert them to my Cricut design space. Okay. Within my layers, I can then click to resize them. At the moment, the width is set to 26 centimeters, which obviously we don't need it to be. It's a label, so I think the max 7 centimeters would be enough. Okay. Where you space them in your design space doesn't really matter because Cricut will automatically do this when we move to the next step. So we're going to click on Make It. And Cricut is going to arrange our labels within our cutting space, so you can just about see the white box which the Cricut machine will cut, and 5 labels fit onto one page. If we open up our canvas settings here, we can change it that we want the number of copies to be 2 of each sticker, and then it will rearrange them so that there's going to be 2 of each sticker. The next thing that we're going to do is send this design to our printer, and then we're going to put it into our Cricut machine to do its magic.